Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Mercury Retrograde. Mercury is going to turn retrograde again. Seems like it's always going retrograde, but it's going to turn retrograde again May 30th, and it will continue to be retrograde till June 22nd. So it's interesting though, because the point where it turns retrograde is at 0 degrees of Gemini. And Mercury loves Gemini. It rules Gemini, but it's only there for a few days because then it's going to go back into Taurus. So we have a lot to talk about. And I also wanted to give you a little indications of how you can expect this to affect you according to your ascendant, your Lagna. So before we get into all of this, I want to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter, which is on galacticcenter.org, because you're going to get all of my predictions delivered to your email address. And while you're there on my website, don't forget to check out my beautiful jewelry. I now have new beautiful malas, and I think they're magnificent. So check that out. And I am starting my University of Vedic Astrology first semester again. So if you have been waiting for us to begin the first semester to learn Vedic astrology, now's the time. Check it out on my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com, and the new start date is June 16th. So check it out. Now let's get going and talk about what Mercury, as it cycles backwards, stationing at 0 degrees of Gemini actually means. Mercury is all about our communications, and making its mark in Gemini means this is what's so important this month. We've got to really look into how we express ourselves, how we communicate, how we relay information, because it's everything on how we're going to feel connected, how we're going to feel heard, how we're going to feel our sense of community. And most of all, we all have a need to feel heard and connected. So paying attention to where Mercury is, particularly in your birth chart, and as it transits through the sky, and when it goes backwards, it gives us another opportunity to reassess everything going on in our life in terms of how we think. Mercury is how we process information in the mind. It's how you think. The sign that your Mercury is in your birth chart tells you how you think. And another thing is, Mercury, as it retrogrades, whatever house it's in your chart is going to give you great reference point as to what you're going to be feeling during this Mercury retrograde cycle. So Mercury, once again, is going to turn retrograde the 30th of May, turning direct June 22nd. On June 22nd, it's going to be 22 degrees of Taurus. And for the most part, it's going to be in Taurus. Mercury is going to stay in Taurus after it turns direct till July 9th. July 9th is when Mercury will re-enter Gemini, where it will be for about a month following. But while it hits that 0 degrees where it turned retrograde on July 9th will be meaningful in terms of our awareness with our communications. And don't forget, more than anything, Mercury rules traveling. And everyone's ready to get out and go on vacations, to go places. But with this Mercury retrograde, there may be some complications with travel. It always slows things down. There's mechanicals, there's delays, there's issues around travel. And usually a lot of times it's because there's issues around computers. Things go haywire. Everything that deals with Mercury's energy. So another thing that I want to give more meaning to is the nakshatra Mercury is going to be while it is retrograde. For the most part, it's going to be in the nakshatra Mrigashira. Mrigashira's nakshatra stems from 6 degrees of Gemini, 40 minutes, and backwards to 23 degrees, 20 minutes of Taurus. So basically, it will just step foot out of Mrigashira as it is stationing at 22 degrees. But for the entire time, it's basically going to be in Mrigashira. And what is Mrigashira all about? It's the star of searching. So while Mercury's backtracking through this nakshatra, we're all searching for something. And I feel like we're all searching for some meaning in life because everything seems so meaningless when you're consumed with fear. And that is what our world has become. Everyone is focused around fear. Fear of a virus, fear of the economy dropping, fear of the government, fear of the world affairs. What is going on? Why are we going through this? We've got to find our meaning back. We've got to search and make it important what we're all about. We're searching for meaning. We're searching for the answers to all of our questions. Has the government been telling us the truth? What side of the government is right? They're so extreme, polarizing, and opposite. Where do we go from here with such radical extremes going on all over the world? We're all asking that. And I believe when Mercury goes retrograde, some answers will come. Because remember, when something goes retrograde, it's a reversal, a review, reenactment, realization. That's what Mercury retrograde can bring, especially as it goes through the nakshatra Mrigashira. Now, Mrigashira's nakshatra is ruled by Mars, so this is intense. You may think Mercury transiting through the sign of Taurus is benign and peaceful. Think again, this nakshatra is strong and direct and powerful, ruled by Mars. And a lot is going to heat up, even in this Mercury retrograde. So let's talk a little bit about how this Mercury retrograde, with the travels going haywire, with the communications going haywire, with computer breakdowns, with even machinery. Pay attention to your car right now. If you're thinking it needs a checkup, don't wait. Don't wait till you have a breakdown. This is what we have to do to prevent things, knowing astrology. So let's just say you have a Gemini ascendant. That means Mercury just touched into your ascendant, waking up your communication skills, making them better, but then it reverts back for you. So for the most part, it's going to be in your 12th house. A lot of things from the past are coming up, coming back for you to reassess and look at and to heal and to let go of. That's what Mercury retrograde for you as a Gemini ascendant will do. If you have a Taurus ascendant, then this means that Mercury will be retrograde for the most part in your first house. So this brings out a new awakening for you, new searching, new realizations, but something to do with how you think and process information. You're stronger, you're more vital with Mercury being in your first house. Let's say you have an Aries ascendant, then this means that Mercury is going to be retrograding in your second house. Second house deals with your finances. You're going to be reassessing, reorganizing, and reevaluating your financial situation. So if your ascendant is Pisces, then this means that the Mercury retrograde is occurring in your 3rd house. What an appropriate place to have it, because you're going back to reassessing everything to do with how you communicate with people, and maybe even renewing a relationship, going back with a sibling, a brother or sister. But you could be going on some short trips, and be careful not to lose anything while you're gone. So if you have an Aquarius ascendant, Mercury going retrograde will be in your 4th house. So the 4th house deals with home, family, real estate, and property, and those are the things that are going to come under pressure. You have to reassess and reanalyze and regroup. Maybe you're trying to renovate your home, you're trying to get things together, maybe you're thinking about a move, but everything goes haywire with that. So reassess this before you go forward with anything new dealing with your home and your property. And it's a good time to open the doors of communication with your mother. So if you have Capricorn as your ascendant, then this means that Mercury is transiting your 5th house. This is a time for teaching, being more connected to your children, and helping them with their studies. Another thing is, if you don't have children, this is a time for you to reassess your new ideas into investments, reanalyze all of that, because something's going to come out that you're missing. And another thing, if you're thinking about starting something new, something creative, this is the time that you reanalyze that and make plans. So if you have a Sagittarius ascendant, then this means that Mercury's retrograding in your 6th house. And this is the house that deals with health and healing. So you're going to reassess your habits, your diet, your work ethic. All of these things have to come under play, and this is what you're going to reanalyze and regroup and review. It's time to improve them. So if you have a Scorpio ascendant, this means a Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 7th house, your relationships. Go back, reassess everything with your partner. And it might be when someone comes back from the past for you to reassess things, even if you're not in a relationship. It's time to review the things of the past in relationships that you're here to heal and make better, so that you can open the door to a new, much better, improved relationship. Fix and understand where things went wrong. But if you're married, if you're in a relationship, same thing. Fix and reassess things on how you need to be more clear with your communications. If your ascendant is Libra, then this means that Mercury is retrograding in your 8th house. This is not easy. The 8th house means you have to reassess all the things with your financial situation where you own money or things with other people. But another thing is, something may come back that you have to reassess in terms of some psychological healing that you have to go through. There's something psychological, reviewing something from the past to heal it. That's what you're going to go through. So if you have Virgo as your ascendant, then this means that it's happening in your 9th house. And the 9th house is the house of travel. Some of your trips and your plans may need to be regrouped and reorganized. Long distance trips too, particularly. And the other thing is, possibly this is the time that you reassess your beliefs, what you're all about, what you're learning, what your spirituality is all about. Go back and empower that again. If your ascendant is Leo, then this means that this is a great time to reassess anything going on with business and your work and your career. It's time to regroup. It's time to better understand how you communicate with people in your work. And especially if you are the boss, how are you connecting with your employees, with your coworkers? Reassess that, regroup, improve it. You can do this. If your ascendant is Cancer, this means that the Mercury retrograde is in your 11th house. Friends from the past will come back. It's time for you to reassess your relationships with your friends, in particular with groups. And you'll be talking to some long lost friends. Maybe there's some type of reunion. So that should have covered all 12 signs. And remember to also look at your moon sign. Very important. The moon gives you reference on how you're feeling about everything. So go through, listen to all of them according to your ascendant and your moon sign. And make reference to the people you love and know. How is this going to affect them? So that you can better improve your relationships during this Mercury retrograde, because Mercury is all about how we communicate with other people. It's our emotional body. And this is so important. So when you are looking at any planet that goes retrograde, always remember it is a time to renew, readdress, review, and improve all of what you are seeing during this time, because it gives you a new insight about yourself and about others. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. And don't forget, check out my university website if you want to take your learning to the next level. It is University of Vedic Astrology.com. New start date, June 16th. Thank you.